It's Cougar Sports Saturday.
That's caught! Touchdown! Stayed inside the boundary and gets in for 6.
Cougar Sports Saturday, a presentation of KSL Sports.
Richie right to the rim, driving score! He would not be denied!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Sponsored by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air. Your hosts are Mitch Harper and Kyle Ireland. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars, KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Happy game day, Cougar Nation. The long off season is over. Football is on our television. We're going to have BYU football back tonight. It's a BYU football game day, and it's also the beginning of a new era here on Cougar Sports Saturday. Mitch Harper, and as you heard in the show open, Kyle Ireland, my new co-host. Kyle, how you doing, man?
I mean, could I be any better? It's game day, Mitch. We've made it. It has been a very long off season. I'm ready for 6 p.m. I'm excited to be on the air with you at noon, but 6 hours away from kickoff. Let's go.
Let's just get this thing rolling. But, tell our listeners a little bit about you and your background, because I know you are someone that's very passionate about BYU sports as we go on our maiden voyage here on the Cougar Sports Saturday New Era with you and I on the show.
Yeah, grew up a BYU fan, multi-generation, both sides of my family. Dad took me to BYU games back in the day as a child, and think back to my first game back in '96 against A&M, hot day, and it's just been a fun ride ever since then, going to games at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. But yeah, I graduated from BYU, so I'm a diehard BYU fan. Have covered the Cougars and have been in media since 2011, and I'm excited to be here with you on the air.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Kyle's been with BYU TV. He's also been at KSL Sports. He's got we worked a lot together, Kyle and I, so we're going to have a lot of fun on these airwaves here on the show. But we got to get out to the phone line before we dive into the show. Let's get out the phone line and welcome in what's being called a surprise caller. You're on Cougar Sports Saturday.
I'm glad to be back, baby. It's Matt Biamonte. I had to call in you guys and congratulate Kyle Ireland on this new opportunity and the new era of Cougar Sports Saturday. I got to tell the story quick, you guys, and then I'll let you guys enjoy this maiden voyage, this new show on a fantastic opening week of college football. I met Kyle Ireland back when we were Jazz interns for David Locke in the mid-2010s. Had no idea who this dude was. Knew he was a big BYU fan like myself. And, even to this day, my wife would joke, this is years after having worked together with the Jazz and then at KSL Sports. My wife would joke, who is Kyle Ireland? Why is he texting? Is this guy even real? Finally, my wife met him at Corn Bellies last year, but I'm excited for you both, and I'm really looking forward to your coverage of BYU sports into the future.
Well, thanks, Matt. We appreciate that. It's a great way to start the show. Appreciate it. Hope all is well with you at BYU Broadcasting. We'll probably see you tonight then.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys tonight, and I'll be listening today. Have a great first show, you guys.
Thanks. That's Matt Biamonte. Appreciate it, Matt. But, Kyle, let's get this thing rolling here with the starting lineup here on Cougar Sports Saturday.
The starting lineup. A look at the stories making headlines right now. It's time for the starting lineup on Cougar Sports Saturday.
It's BYU. It's Portland State. Now that doesn't sound too riveting, but it's game day. It's week 1, and that is exciting enough. The long off season is finally over, and it's the Cougs and the Vikings. And it's also the beginning of a new era for BYU football at the quarterback position. True freshman Bear Bachmeier is going to get the start, the first ever true freshman to start a week 1 at quarterback for BYU. And I think it begs the question, even though it's a new QB, I think everyone in Cougar Nation, Kyle, is so excited to see Bear Bachmeier in action. I think some Cougar Club people got to see him in that 17 or so play scrimmage, or practice rather, at the stadium a few weeks back. But really, how much can we actually learn today against a Portland State team that was hammered last week against Tarleton State 42-0? Tarleton, to their credit, they beat an FBS team last night against Army. But how much can we actually learn today?
I think there's a couple of things, Mitch. There's not a lot to gain, but there's a lot to lose when you open the season against an FCS opponent. And so I expect, the BYU offense tries to minimize the mistakes, try and produce, and keep everybody healthy. Those are the things that Bear needs to focus on as well. I think that, if he can, avoid some turnovers, avoid mistakes, be able to go back and look at film before they take on Stanford, East Carolina, and get into Big 12 play. Those are going to be the things that I look for today with a freshman quarterback. It's kind of crazy to think about it, Mitch. This is history that BYU fans are going to see tonight. It's never happened before to start a season with a true freshman quarterback. And so I'm also interested to see if the lights are too big and bright for Bear in that environment. Granted, the opponent is what it is, but you're playing in front of 60,000 plus fans. Is Bear going to, have a little shell shock with that?
I don't think he's going to have shell shock. I think he's going to be pretty calm and collected. I don't think there's going to be anything too exotic from Portland State because he's got a good offensive line in front of him. And Kalani Sitake, he's got high expectations for Bear heading into the opener.
Just do what he's been doing all camp and, just lead the offense. I think he's done a great job, especially when we announced him as the starter. He's done a great job being the leader and connecting with his teammates, working with everyone. I mean, I've been really impressed with the entire quarterback room, but I think he'll be ready. Looking at his demeanor and his intelligence and things that he's picking up, I think he's amped up. He's ready to play.
And I think he is. Bear Bachmeier is going to be a good player for BYU. I think, though, that there's got to be some patience given to him. I think a lot of Cougar Nation's kind of getting enamored with just the name and the jersey number and just saying, oh, he's going to be amazing. He's a 4-star recruit. Like, there will be probably ups and downs as a true freshman.
Sure.
But I think that the potential of Bear Bachmeier is pretty exciting. And he gave you some signs in camp that would say, man, if that can consistently be produced week after week and do it consistently and he continues to get better each and every week, Bear could be pretty special. I mean, the growth he made from practice 1 to practice 16 to close out fall camp where he's named the starter, pretty significant. And if you can continue to have those type of leaps throughout this season, BYU could have a pretty good situation on their hands with Bear Bachmeier. But I think that the good thing for Bear, Kyle, is that he's got a lot of personnel around him where he's not carrying this whole team. It's not solely on him. There's a lot of proven commodities around him. I think that helps the time. If BYU was ever going to roll the dice on a true freshman, this is probably the perfect year to do it.
Not just that, but you look at the schedule and the way that it ramps up. I mean, you've got Portland State, Stanford, who's down.
Both are 0-1 right now. East Carolina 0-1. Colorado lost last night. You're talking about a bunch of teams that are winless. West Virginia's Game 5. They play Robert Morris today. They probably should win. Arizona's got Hawaii. Who knows what happens there? Utah's got UCLA. Like, you could be talking about, a string of 6 to 7 teams. Oh, no, I just did what BYU's doing, the clip farming 6-7. But they, it seems like how the Big 12 is playing out so far. Why not BYU? I mean, I know that BYU playing Portland State today is not like Cincinnati playing Nebraska and throwing a pick at the end. They're not going to be challenged like that. But you just look across the Big 12, and it's a whole lot of mid right now. Why not BYU rise up? But they got to get some consistency, some momentum coming out of this game today in Week 1 against Portland State.
Yeah, I think the point that you made there is the talent around Bear is at a level where it's going to be okay, right? Like the quarterback confidence from A-Rod and Kalani Sitake coming all the way through fall camp was, hey, we're going to be able to win with any of these guys. We feel good about this quarterback room. And so maybe it's leaning into Bear's upside, the accolades, the hype coming out of high school for him made it an easier decision when, things were pretty even maybe between him and McKay Hillstead throughout fall camp in that battle. And so you lean into that. You lean into guys like L.J. Martin running the ball, Chase Roberts, JoJo Phillips on the wideout side of things. And then that defense. I mean, to be able to lean on the defense, even like they did a season ago, people, I think, kind of forget some of the mistakes that were erased that Jake Retzlaff and the offense made this season ago because that defense was so good. And so to be able to lean into a defense that I think is going to be even better this season will really, really help Bear in his freshman campaign.
It's really interesting, Kyle, to be in this studio right now. We're here at Broadcast House in Salt Lake, and on the television, you would think it's Texas Ohio State, but we're actually tuning into Tulane to Northwestern because Tulane has got the BYU QB from last year, Jake Retzlaff.
Yeah.
And obviously that plays a role into Bear Bachmeier's ascent to being QB1. He joined the program, or committed to the program rather, before Jake and his whole off-the-field issues. But, Jake's looking pretty good right now, and it makes you wonder, man, what could have been? But I do think that with that timing of Jake's exit, with it coming really in the most challenging point of the calendar in terms of being able to replenish the quarterback unit, you couldn't because there was no portal window open. All things considered, BYU's in a pretty good place. And I think Bear Bachmeier has that ability to be a really good player for BYU. And what's been an interesting storyline about Bear is coaches have consistently, whether it's A-Rod, Kalani, they continue to talk about how he's learned the playbook so quickly. And it blows us away because we've heard many players that have been part of this offense for years. And they say it takes a while, but Bear Bachmeier's taken to it quickly. How did he take it to it quickly? This was Bear on how he's learned the playbook.
It was a big test. It's a big testament to Coach Mitchell and Coach A-Rod. I met with Coach Mitchell, almost every day, install 1, install 2, install 3, and so forth. So I think me learning the playbook, I give a lot of credit to Coach Mitchell because, he taught me the whole playbook in, a month, 2 months, and and then I had extra hours to kind of memorize and regurgitate the information. But I test the learning process to Coach Mitchell. He helped out immensely.
To be able to learn the quarterback in that short amount of time is really impressive from Bear, and I'm excited to see what he does in his first game as a college player tonight at 6 p.m. You can hear that game on KSL News Radio on these airwaves. We're going to take a quick timeout, and on the other side, we're going to hear sound from coaches and players as we get ready for kickoff tonight between BYU and Portland State.